这天
Is the sky falling?
对啊
Yes.
怎么这么
Why
红
is
呢
it so red?
Wow, the sky is red. You guys need to come out and take a look.
What kind of weather is this?
The sky is like this. I'm so scared. Is the world going to end? This was the sky in a coastal city in eastern China. Filmed at around 8 p.m. on May 7th, 2022. The sky, which should have been dark, turned bloody red and looked very eerie. Traditional Chinese culture emphasizes the unity of heaven and man. The well-known Chinese Taoist classic, The Book of Changes, states that the heavenly realm manifests signs that foretell doom or good fortune in the human realm. Traditional Chinese culture believes the changes in the celestial phenomena often correspond to the good and bad world events and the blessings and disasters on Earth. Whenever something big is about to happen in human society, there tend to be some omens, and the society will often experience some anomalies. Of course, the Chinese Communist government won't admit any of this. On May 8th, Chinese officials acknowledged the unusually bright red color in the sky in the city of Zhoushan, but denied that it was an anomaly. The head of a fishing company said it was a group of fishing boats fishing for swordfish that had installed red lights for illumination, while the local meteorological bureau said it was refraction and scattering of light. But mainland Chinese weren't convinced. One person wrote, "There is a huge red code in the sky." In China, if one tests positive for the nucleic acid test, one's health code becomes red. 3 days later, the sky in another city also turned red. I don't know what's going on. The sky is all red. Local officials adopted the other city's narrative, claiming it was due to the fishing boat lights. Weibo users have ridiculed and questioned such an explanation. How come fishing boats are piling up with red lights? They never used to have red lights. Others turn to Chinese history, such as the last emperor of the Ming dynasty. The history book read that in the first year of Emperor Chongzhen, in 1628, the sky was as red as blood throughout Shanxi province, followed by a year of great famine, then 1 year of great flooding, followed by a year of a locust plague in the fall, leading to a great famine. A prominent prophet of the Tang dynasty wrote, "When the sky turns red, a new self-proclaimed ruler will appear within a year, and red covers the sun like the color of blood. There will be a great drought, people starving, war and bloodshed are widespread." Not only has the sky turned red in some cities, but the sea and rivers have turned red overnight as well. Red seawater. This is terrifying.
How did the water turn red? It's a bit like the blood, that kind of red. I'm worried. Why is this?
The villagers said this had never happened before. The official response on that day was, "The cause is unclear." The reddening of the sea and river water may or may not be caused by pollution. Is it just a coincidence that the rivers in these two cities turned red at about the same time as the sky did? China seems to be having a tougher year than last year, with the resurgence of outbreaks sweeping the country and the return of flooding with the arrival of summer. Many provinces in China have experienced heavy to torrential rains, which have caused landslides and other disasters.
对你们现在还有心情？
On May 9th, the road of a community in a southern city collapsed. Several cars fell down the slope, and some were hanging in the air. Among the provinces affected by flooding due to heavy rains was Guangdong Province in southern China. Several of its cities have become oceans. Residents no longer need cars to get around, but boats.
又来一个救人了。
那些都不顶来了。
This is not a swimming pool, but the airport of Zhuhai City. It was flooded due to heavy rainfall. Eight cities in Guangdong Province have issued notices to suspend classes in schools. The Chinese Ministry of Transport said that 20 highways in China were affected by the storm. 21 national routes were also affected by the storm. Back in March, at the Communist Party's two sessions, China's Minister of Water Resources admitted that there was a great chance of flooding in both the north and south of the country in the summer of 2022. In 2021, devastating floods in several cities exposed a serious and long-term problem with urban construction in China, including the construction of a staggering number of dams on many rivers. The floods that took so many lives were mainly due to human factors than to natural disasters. This year, rivers in China are facing full floods 15 days earlier than in regular years. It has raised the concern that the floods we are seeing now are only a prelude because unusual weather will continue to occur in 2022. May 5th, 2022 is an important date in the traditional Chinese calendar. It's the beginning of summer. It heralds the change of seasons, saying goodbye to spring and welcoming summer. Chinese calendars recorded the beginning of summer as a time when all things grow and an important period when crops enter the peak production season. Since the Song dynasty, on the first day of summer, the court officials in charge of ice administration would dig out the ice stored in the winter cellar and cut it apart. The emperor then gave them to the officials as a gift. Nowadays, people in many parts of China don't have the need for ice from the emperor, as they are covered with snow around the beginning of summer in May.
Look at the weather in the northeast. It's destroying people's lives. It's May 1st, 2022. It's supposed to be the season of spring blossoms. It snowed heavily. I saw this when I got up early and went up the mountain. The peasants just seeded their crops a couple of days ago. Such heavy snow, such weather. What seedlings can grow? What crops can grow well?
Some places are hailing, and witnesses say they have never seen hail of this size before.
I have never seen such a big hail. It only took 10 minutes, and the road was covered with snow.
It was raining in the morning, now it's snowing. The streets are covered with ice everywhere.
Look at this hail. It's so much. It covered the ground with a thick layer very quickly.
On May 11th, this is the second snowfall after the beginning of summer. It has snowed heavily. The snowflakes are as big as goose feathers. By May 14th, the heavy snowfall in many areas still continued on. It included some southwestern cities with lower latitudes. A Chinese vlogger wrote, "Snow in May is really rare. In truth, snow in May isn't a good thing. Summer plants, including crops, like high temperature. The weather is critical to their growth. A sharp drop in temperature is not good for the growth of plants and crops. If there is a freezing effect, it might lead to production reduction or harvest failure. Summer should have a summer look. If these anomalies only affected agriculture, it might not be so bad. Too many anomalous phenomena appear in a concentrated manner. That seems to herald something bigger." In April 2022, the phenomenon of bamboo flowering appeared in several parts of China.
This
afternoon, I captured footage of bamboo blooming at a local family. I have never seen bamboo blooming, and I also asked two local elderly people in their 90s, and they said they have never seen bamboo blooming either. Many people have never seen bamboo bloom because when it blooms, it signals the end of life. Bamboo is a grassy plant with a growth cycle usually ranging from 40 to 120 years, and different species of bamboo have different lifespans. Some bamboos never even bloom in their lifetime. In general, bamboo flowering is extremely rare. In China, there is a saying that if a bamboo blooms, there will be a great disaster. And if the bamboo blooms, hurry up and relocate. In India, there is also a prophecy that says if the bamboo blossoms, famine will come, and it occurs every 48 years. In ancient China, people seldom gave bamboo as a gift to others, and if they did, they gave paintings of bamboo, because painted bamboo never blooms. The last time bamboo bloomed on a large scale in China was at the end of 2007, when a total of 24,000 hectares of bamboo bloomed in the Minshan Mountains of Sichuan Province. On May 12, 2008, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Wenchuan. Back in 1974, the same Minshan mountain range in Sichuan Province began to experience the blossoming and dying of bamboos. And in 1976, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck the area. In the same year, the top 3 first-generation CCP leaders passed away in succession. Nearly 2,000 years ago, during the Eastern Han Dynasty, a renowned expert in the Book of Changes said, "If the bamboo and cypress trees in a country wither, within 3 years, the ruler of that country will die." At the end of 2021, the phenomenon of bamboo flowering occurred in Guangdong Province.
嗱，而家係10月20號，
It's December 20th, 8 a.m.
早上8:06。
The bamboo blossoms and then bears fruit.
依家睇清楚啦。哦，你諗緊係竹去
It turns out that the bamboo can bloom and bear fruit.
近夠要啦。
3 provinces have had bamboos bloom during this period. They are not in traditional earthquake zones. Instead, they are large grain-producing provinces. China's ongoing outbreaks have resulted in many places not being able to plant in time due to strict lockdown controls. The rainy and snowy weather in March, April, and even May isn't conducive to crop planting either, which means that the reduction of grain production in some areas is a sure thing. Will there be major problems for the rest of 2022 in China? A country that has already been suffering from food shortages? What else is going to happen?